Good evening and a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us here on the Oz Cro Soccer Show, episode 23. And my name is Tonci Prusac, and coming to you from the same town as I am, Josip Zilic. Welcome home, Josip. How are you?
Thanks. Nice to be home amongst familiar faces and familiar surrounds, Tonci. And
Malo Zima, it's a little bit colder than it is up north in Gold Coast, that's sure.
Hey, listen, on the way to work this morning, I parked the car near sort of that Mercer Street area, and it's about a kilometre walk into the office at NDIS on Mallet Street, and I had brain freeze by the time I got to the office.
Mate, we're going to thaw you out, and we're going to thaw all our viewers and listeners tonight because we've got a hot show tonight. We've got heaps to get through, as is always the case around at this time of the year. So much to get through, but tonight we've got a lot of progress scores coming through from Sydney because Sydney United are involved with against the old rivals, Bonnyrigg White Eagles, the Barely Orlovi as they call themselves. And after a really shambolic start, things are changing up there in Sydney.
Things are hotting up, mate.
In the Waratah Cup. What's going on?
Bonnyrigg White Eagles 2, Sydney Croatia 2. They just scored, mate. They just scored. So after being down 2-0, they've hit back quickly, and the pressure's on. I think they've spent the last 15 minutes in Bonnyrig's forward half, mate. So it's a good turnaround.
Yeah, 71 and a half minutes gone at that game. I think that's being played behind closed doors, so there is a stream happening. We are watching that intently, and we will be keeping you all abreast of what is going on. But apart from that, Josip, what have we got in store for episode 23? I can't believe it's already episode 23.
Yeah, episode 23. But first and foremost, a special call out to all the members that have gone out to King Tom tonight. I hope you're there cheering on loud and proud and getting the boys over the line from your end. In saying that, we've got our usual wrap-up around the country, and it's wet out there, mate. So, there's been a lot of interruption with the heavy deluge has occurred around New South Wales in particular. We have a good catch-up tonight, Tonci, with Adelaide Croatia's president, Ian KRIVICIC. He'll join us on the show around the halfway mark and give us a bit of a rundown about what's been happening over in South Australia and what their plans and what they're looking forward to doing over the next couple of years. And they've got a massive year, 70th anniversary this year. So we'll hear all about that from the president himself halfway through the show.
I think it's the 75th, is it? Now, I may stand corrected,
70th.
but 70th, is it? Either way, Adelaide Croatia Raiders are the oldest Croatian club in Australia. So they are planning a huge celebration next month. And we'll hear all about that from Ian a little bit later on in the show. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to take a very, very quick break. When we return, it is all about the news that is happening around the there's a corner, I think, for Sydney United as we speak. Hopefully, when we get back after the break, we might even have a goal. Don't go away, folks.
Welcome back to the Oz Cro Soccer Show, episode 23, Oz Wrap-Up. Don't you keep your eye on that game over there, mate, whilst I go through the latest and greatest, and interrupt me at any stage as a goal.
Absolutely, and I'll be happy to do so.
Good on you, mate. We'll take our focus to New South Wales, and like us just alluded to a little bit earlier, they've had a lot of rain out in New South Wales, and we unfortunately didn't get a chance to load a couple of photos that Karl Zivkovic sent us from Newcastle, just to give us an indication of the sort of water that's been accumulating. But yes,
Look at that.
Oh, you've got it. You got it in there on time.
You
Good stuff.
little ripper, yeah, absolutely. Have a look at that.
Look, and if you know Wickham itself, it does have a bit of the creek bed stuff and around the river deltas of the bay area for the where the shipping yards are. But that usually that level there you see with the water. That's probably about half a metre up from the bowling greens, and the bowling greens are elevated in front of the club. So it's a lot of water, man. I really feel sorry for the people. They're going to have to dig deep now and start cleaning that out. It's a tough time for everyone in New South Wales. Our thoughts and prayers go out to you, and we hope that it's not too long before things subside and we can return yourselves to normal activity. But my first focus there, as we mentioned, Newcastle, both sides were unable to play, and it doesn't look like any activity is going to occur in Newcastle. Similarly, over in South Coast, they had a washout. They are scheduled to play Albion Park White Eagles. There's no indication yet that won't go ahead, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these New South Wales games don't go ahead. Willoughby Dullies is probably the only Croatian team that can probably get on the park this week, because they're in the North Sydney League. They're usually on sand base and they're up in the hills. So Willoughby Dullies will probably be able to get out. They did have a 1-1 draw and now do top their table in the Premier League in North Sydney comp. Sydney United's game was postponed, hence their focus tonight, still 2-2 over there in their Cup, New South Wales Waratah Cup match with Bonnyrigg. If those rain delays don't interfere, they could go up and play against local in their local derby against Marconi this week, Tonch, which is
that'll be a good game.
Bit of an old classic, as we remember. And then Hurstville, they managed to get a game underway last week, being that they're on artificial surface. They're in fourth place after the 1-1 draw with Parramatta. Weather permitting, they will face Prospect United this Sunday. Over to the nation's capital, though, Tonchu. O'Connor women, they had themselves a big week this week. They unfortunately went down 5-0 to Lanyon, and which is a little bit of a surprise. They have been having a stellar year, the O'Connor women, so they'll no doubt be able to get themselves back on track, and we wish them the best. I do believe that the ACT competition will be cleared to play. The men's, they had a goal fest, but unfortunately came out the wrong end with a 4-3 loss against Gungahlin. They're still clinging on to fourth place, only just, and their next match is on the 11th. I think that's Monday, right? Against West Canberra Wanderers.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Isn't that the team that defeated them in the Australia Cup?
Yeah, that cup match. Like that was that period where they played 4 games in 11 days. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, so, revenge will be sweet, O'Connor Knights. Revenge will be sweet.
Yes.
On to Canberra, Croatia.
Canberra, Croatia. Yeah, the men's team, they had a real convincing 4-0 win over Belconnen. Our top spot, Canberra, Croatia's next match is the derby on the 16th of July against O'Connor Knights. So they got a little bit of a rest period, and once O'Connor catches up with their games. Their table-topping women, they also beat Belconnen 2-1. There's a cup round this week, so the first spot team doesn't play again until the 17th of July, and they play West Canberra Wanderers. So a little bit of a rest there
down south.
Canberra Croatia. Down south over Victoria. Yeah, St Albans Saints. The women had a win. They've been having weeks on end with a few disappointing results, but well done to the St Albans women's team. A 2-0 win over Brunswick City. And this week, the 8th place Saints have Port Melbourne. So an achievable task there as well. So all the best, ladies. The men's team, they've shown some gritty performances of late. They're not getting the wins and all the goals that they want in order to lift themselves up.
Stop there.
Stop the press.
We have had a news break, and it looks like in the 79th minute, guess what? Sydney United have taken the lead. with a looping wonder goal. I'm trying to work out who the scorer of that goal was, but it was an amazing goal. Watch the highlights. I'm sure you'll be able to see that on the Sydney United.
Mine's slightly delayed, so Payne's over the ball. I think it's going to be Payne.
Well, there you go. So it looks like Christopher Payne. Is that right? 3-2 Sydney United. What a comeback! 79th minute.
Oh, it had the deflection. Oh, left the keeper stranded.
It's a bit of a All right.
As
Sorry
Lucas
for that
Lever
interruption.
would say, "Alagi."
Back to St Albans, was it?
Yeah, great performance by them, man. Look, 0-0. As I alluded to a little bit earlier, they've had 3 draws in the trot. They've stopped a bit of that, goal leaking in through the fence.
Yeah.
So whatever Crooni's done to tighten up the defence is good. How they're going to get themselves onto the scorer sheet is the question now for them, if they want to get themselves away from that dreaded playoff spot that occurs in the NPL 1. And it is really a dreaded thing, because only once is Melbourne Knights they've managed to survive that dreaded playoff. Otherwise, the team that goes in there tends to drop down. So, all the best this week against Hume City, who's in that dreaded playoff spot. Dandy City women had themselves a bit of an indoor soccer match result. We're going down 5-4 to Mornington. This week, the 5th place Dandy women take on Latrobe United over in the Latrobe Valley. The men were leaking goals this week. It looks like 5 was the magic number.
Scores, yeah.
Yeah, they were going down 5-0 to table-topping Oakley. They might be pleased about that. They did recruit some players throughout last week, and all signs led to them having a lineup that could turn their fortunes around, but it just didn't work out that way. Look, I know Oakley's on top for a reason, and there's a chasm between them and the 6 from 7th downwards. There's a big chasm between Oakley and the rest. Look, they're at home this week, and they've got an opportunity against Altona Magic, who is an inconsistent performer. So this Saturday night, go Dandy City, turn that form around, and get yourselves off that second last spot.
Very important game for Dandy City coming up.
Yeah. Melbourne Knights women had themselves an important win as well, mate. 3-1 win over Whitehorse United. So they've managed to stop some of the the losing form that they've had to turn around for a win. And this week on a chilly Friday night over at Eltham Redbacks. If you've ever been to Eltham on a Friday night, it's like an old English movie where you just see fog through the meadow. It's a very cold place to be.
Now, speaking of the Melbourne Knights, if you want to catch up on last week's episode of the Football Out West Show, our sister podcast from last Sunday, go to the YouTube channel, Football Out West Show, and there is footage of an interview with Katie Spiteri. Yes, a very famous surname there, who plays for the Melbourne Knights, and she also scored in that game against Whitehorse United. She's actually the niece of the great Joe Spiteri, who was in the golden generation at the Melbourne Knights. Really well-spoken young lass. I think we did have the Football Out West Show simulcast on the Oz Cro Soccer Show channel.
It was. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you missed that out, definitely catch 10 minutes of a nice chat there with young Katie Spiteri. And it's good to see the Melbourne Knights, the women, and the club taking it really, really seriously as well. So the Melbourne Knights, the highest Croatian-ranked women's club in Melbourne. So, but men, they didn't do so well.
Yeah, look, they went over to Hume City, and look, the 9th place Knights are now 10 points away from the finals contention with 6 rounds to play. Going down 3-1 to Hume City didn't do any favours. But if there's a time to lift, it's usually against these neighbouring clubs. So they're up against Green Gully at home on Friday night. So all the best to the Knights there. And if you're out looking for a dinner option pre-match, Melbourne Croatia Social Club, call in early because it sells out quick and the food is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Over to North Geelong.
You brought the good luck charm with you because this is an absolute heart stopper on Saturday afternoon. North Geelong versus Brunswick City. What a game. It took until the 86th minute, a penalty there for the game to be decided. Thankfully, the penalty was for the Reds and not for the other team.
Yeah, that's right. Look, my plane was that delayed that when I landed, I turned the phone on. And the first thing you do is, everyone says when you land, you message the family. Well, the first thing I did, I got on Football 24. That's the family.
As you do.
and I kid you not, at that stage, I thought to myself, "Oh, what the hell's going on here? 1-1. Put the phone back in the pocket, get off the plane, pull the phone back out of the pocket. It's 2-1. I've punched the sky, and so it's good. Look, 2-1 wins all round for the men's and the women's team. So a scoreline they both enjoyed. And look, the women's team are off to play Keilor Park this week in a tough one away, and the men have got to face. I've lost my track there.
The men take on
Manningham.
Manningham away.
Manningham. Yeah, who have resurrected some of their form. So it'll be a tough away trip for the Warriors in both camps.
Yeah, now, on the women's side, North Geelong, they're currently in 4th spot. If they can get into the top 3 of Victorian State League 1, next year they will be playing in the same division as the Melbourne Knights, Victorian Premier League Women's, which is 1 tier below NPLW. And that's where we'd like to see one or both or maybe more Croatian-backed clubs in the future. Absolutely, just like we have in the men's competition. Strathmore split.
Look, the women's team continue their losing ways, unfortunately, 3-0 to Watsonia this week. Last week, and this week up against Greenvale. So good luck, women's split. The men's team, nice 1-0 win over Yarraville and keep fighting their way to try and avoid relegation in this hotly contested Div 1 Northwest now. There's a lot of congestion going on at both ends of the table. The only real clear thing is that Caroline Georges is going to take this out, but everywhere else it's tight as it can be. So look, they're in second last at the minute. They're only 1 point away from Whittlesea United, and they've got Sydenham this week at home. So a good time to be playing at home. I know they've got a catch-up game as well against Georges. Looking good at the moment, and the form has been turning around. So well done, Mickey and the boys there. The Metro Comp Div 2 had a bye last week, and this week home to Hume United, and the Masters no match this week home to Ben Yule. Just a special mention about the club. They've got a bit of an event going on.
What sort of an event?
At Strathmore, they've got a last one standing raffle. So if you want to get yourself an opportunity to win some cash, get onto the club's Facebook site, and you'll see all the details there. Good old Jimmy Tabakis, the Hrvatski Zet, will sort you out.
Now, we've been having a lot of social functions at a lot of the Croatian clubs. Last one standing these days. And we're going to talk about that with Adelaide Croatia a little bit later on. They had theirs on the weekend just gone by. And we'll be joined by their president, Ian KRIVICIC, very, very shortly. But before we do that, speaking of clubs that are really doing well off the field, Gorspic Bears, they've just released a whole array of club merchandise. Josipe, tell us, what have the Bears got in their cave?
Well, they have whatever you need to get yourself nice and warm away from the winter blues. But check out that beanie, Tunchi. Look, beanie, $25. What great value is that? You keep your head, you keep your bonds warm. You got a nice puffer jacket and a jumper to go underneath it. You package that up for $220 odd, and you got yourself a beautiful warm outfit that you can wear on the pitch side and support the Bears along. You can be nice, warm, and fuzzy, just like a bear.
Just like a bear, and you don't need to hibernate. Oh, I've got my eye on that jacket. That jacket's really good, actually. I'll pop that back up there. But play on words there with the Meadows. The good bunch of blokes they are indeed. And all you need to do is jump on their Facebook page or their website, and there's a whole array of stuff that you can get. Very, very limited stock of the jerseys, $80. Dare I say the sizes as well. And postage is not included, so there are some great stuff there. Jumpers, $75, jerseys, $80, beanies, $25, jackets, $120, and the warm-up kit, geez, you'll really stand out with that warm-up kit, only $30.
Won't lose,
So, absolutely, either on the training pitch or off it. So maybe
all on and off field activities, you'll be easy to find.
Yeah, absolutely. Folks, we're going to take a very, very short break. Look, when we return, it's all about the we're going to continue with the roundup. We're going to go visit Tasmania. We'll go visit South Australia. Then we're going to go to WA. And then finally, last but not least, we're going to go to Queensland. Lots coming up, I should say. Lots are coming up. It sounds like Franco Cozzo. That's probably on the Italian-Australian soccer show, not the Oz Cro Soccer Show.
Yeah, we'll leave that to them.
That's right. Don't go away, folks. It is still 3-2 to Sydney United. We're into the 89th, almost into the 90th minute. Things are, it is looking good if they can just maintain this record. And there's a free kick. It looks like it's going to go to the way of Sydney United. We're now into the 90th minute.
Closing stages like this, we need Tony Chavard and Ante Grabovas.
Oh, we do. Absolutely, we do. We need their commentary. When we return, folks, we'll probably have a final score. Don't go away.
Cro Imports brings you the finest taste of Croatian beer, spirits and wine. Let your taste buds feel the years of nurtured produce and years of experience in producing some of the best beer and wines from Croatia. Established over 10 years ago and importing various wines, spirits and beers from Croatia, we stock the following products: Osječko pivo, Staro Češko and Velebitsko beers, all naturally crafted brews. We carry a wide range of shortcut spirits, which is renowned for top quality and has won numerous awards for its traditionally produced spirits. Some of these include Šljiva, Viljamovka, Kajsije, Višnja, Orahovac and Medovača. We also have wines ranging from the Ilok region in Slavonia, Belje wines from the Danube region, Malvazija from Istra, and the Palihnic branded Plavac Mali and Poship wines from the Dalmatian coast. Our mission is simple: to ensure that quality, unique and reasonably priced Croatian goods can be enjoyed right here in Australia. We also cater for special gift packs for customers, be they birthdays, christenings, weddings, etc. It's easy to order online, or you can telephone us to arrange a special package. Visit our website at www.ozcro.com.au, like our Facebook page Oz Cro Imports, or you can contact us by calling 0419 44 55 18 or email sales@ozcro.com.au.
Welcome back to the Oz Cro Soccer Show. And before I move into the rest of the wrap-up, the score remains at 3-2 for Sydney United, and they're 35 seconds into injury time. Looks like Tonchi has frozen there. Are you all right there, Tonch? Still with us? Anyway, we'll let them see if...
I'm here. I'm still here. Yep.
We do have an update about South Coast United, though, Tonchi. Ivo Spanicek has kindly updated us the game. Looks like it is going to go ahead. So South Coast United versus Bulli this week. So we wish them the best in their getting themselves into form and get off the bottom of the ladder. And hello to Susie Grilic from the Croatian Socialites Facebook site. Just a quick note about the Croatian Socialites and Susie Grilic. Susie's going to be kindly donating a couple of wooden serving boards. I want our viewers to stay across this, because as we lead into the HNL taking off not too distant future, Susie's kindly offering one Dinamo and one Hajduk wooden serving or cutting board. We'll show those images as we lead into the start of the HNL, though, Tonchi. But great prizes, and thank you, Susie. I really appreciate you reaching out to us and offering that for us.
Yeah. If you're not already a member, jump on the Croatian Socialites Facebook page. And it is good to see, we talk about the Croatian community in Australia sort of becoming a little bit distant as we sort of, people assimilate, or they, for whatever reason, don't visit the clubs anymore. But it's good to see that we're still using, I guess, modern technology to connect and in many cases reconnect. And I guess this show is one fine example of that. So, speaking of which, let's continue our roundup around Australia. Let's go to
Glenorchy.
Glenorchy
Knights. The men had a gritty 1-0 win over Launceston City. They're looking forward to their clash against Olympia this Saturday at home to maintain the pressure on top spot Devonport, who've got a 7-point jump there at the moment. The women's championship team, a 3-2 win over Kingborough. They're playing South Hobart this Sunday and keeping their second spot alive. And the championship one side play North Nelson East this week. They're sitting in 7th, so they do it on 8 points. So they need a bit of work to get themselves up the ladder there. Over to South Australia, and our special guest tonight is the president of Adelaide Croatia, Ian KRIVICIC. And I just wanted to thank the Adelaide Croatia crew for dialing me into their last one standing event on Saturday night. I was lying in bed, Tonch.
Yes.
And my phone starts buzzing. It's dinging, and all things are going off. And eventually, Peter Sindrick, I answered his call, and he's put me on FaceTime. I realised I was in the top 5 for the last one standing.
Oh, how did you
Yes.
go in the end?
Look, thanks to one Steve Shkorniak, he pulled me up before the prizes were ready to be
Of
split.
course, it couldn't happen. Couldn't be a nicer bloke. Could not be a nicer bloke than Steve Shkorniak. And final whistle has blown up in Sydney,
Yes.
and Sydney United have run out 3-2 winners. What an amazing come-from-behind result. Mate, I tell you what, the reason why they have just done what they have done tonight is because we had Mirov Vlastelica and Adrian Vlastelica on last week's show. We'll take the credit. Absolutely, we'll take the credit. And if you missed that episode, what a great interview that was. Very entertaining too, by the way. You can catch that on our YouTube channel. And look, final whistle, and straight away the viewing numbers have just skyrocketed here. So welcome to everyone who's tuning in after having watched that.
Amazing. Well done, Cindy Croatia, and go again. Yeah, they've got the final against Spirit now in a couple of weeks' time.
I just saw fleetingly saw the statistics here. I think it was like 18 shots to 4 or something like that. So in the end, it was an absolute total domination. Here we go. No, 31 shots to 10. Shots on target, 19-8, all in favour of Sydney United. 11 corners to 4. Brilliant work. So it was a very, very convincing result. Win, not so much of a convincing result. But when you come down from 0-2 down to win 3-2, Josip, you've got to say it's not a bad effort, eh?
Not like it's every other week, mate. It's you got to rise to these occasions. And whatever Miro did at half-time to address the deficiencies of the first half, well done, and march on to the final now.
I think quietly, I think he threatened to put whoever played poorly as a guest on next week's Oz Cro Soccer Show, and we would publicly humiliate them. No,
we wouldn't do that.
No, we would. No. But it's always good to win the old window.
We will catch up with Ian KRIVICIC a little bit later on. But their men had a massive 1-0 win, and I say massive in the terms of the actual impact it has for the lads. Yep, give us the right state, please, don't you? 1-0.
Given the wrong one. Don't know what's going on there.
Don't know what you're doing there,
Apologies.
mate. But 1-0 win over the Blue Eagles, closing the gap on 4th spot. They're still in 5th spot themselves, 5 points ahead of the next opponent. So their challenge this week is Eastern United, and stay focused for that one. The women went down.
Eastern United ninth on the table, I think. So it is an important win. And Ian was telling us off air earlier, it's the top team in State 1 that gets automatically promoted. And that team at the moment is Modbury Jets, who are leading by 4 points. But the important thing for the Raiders is to finish in the top 6, because then there's a playoff from teams 2 to 6, and the winner of that playoff or playoff phase then gets promoted. So it's the most important thing is they get into that top 6, and then from there on, who knows? Anything's possible. Becomes a Lutria.
Anyway,
speaking of Lutria, who was the winner of the last one standing?
I think. I can't remember her first name.
Wasn't you? It definitely wasn't you.
Orlovic, long-term members of the Adelaide Croatia Club. There,
we'll have to ask Ian about that one. Yeah. They've got a big Gala Night coming.
70th anniversary coming up, so we'll hear a lot more of that from Ian. But there we go. Get onto it early, book your tickets, don't miss out on this. And they've got special guests, Major Minor, flying in for the event, and it's always entertaining with Major Minor on the stage.
Can I just mention about Major Minor? We mentioned Mickey Cholina, the Strathmore split coach, who is the evergreen drummer of Major Minor. I saw them in action last Saturday at the Hrvatska Zora.
Oh, did you ever? You were pumping the sky like you wouldn't believe.
Absolutely brilliant. And you know what? It was great to see. It was great to see a lot of our past guests as well on the show. Big shout out to Ilya Dragicevic and the St. Albans Dynamo crew, who also actually helped behind the bar as well. So it's great seeing the clubs getting involved, and it's not just soccer clubs helping soccer clubs, but community clubs in the Croatian community helping each other out. Fantastic night, fantastic vibe, 800 plus people. And you know what the interesting thing, Josipa, was? The majority of the people, were second and third generation Australian Croatians. Sadly, a lot more and more of the first generation are starting to leave us, unfortunately, or unable to attend these functions. But it is good to see the second and third generation in particular carrying on the traditions. It's brilliant.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed the footage that you and your brother-in-law and your sister were sharing around. A lot of entertainment being had.
Absolutely.
Especially anytime you go to the Richie, you always come home with either sore feet, right? You either come home with sore feet or a sore head, or sometimes both.
Yeah, dobra večer, prijatelji. Always klapa iskon. Always gets you going. Anyway, speaking of prijatelji, moving along now to we're going to stay in South Australia, or we're going to move on to Western Knights.
After Western Knights, mate, they continue their pressure on league leaders Olympic with a 3-1 win over Forestfield. This week, the second-placed Knights are off to Murdoch University. They got a big kids' Knights Carnival coming up over this Christmas holiday period. Oh, the mid-year holiday.
Hey, Christmas in July. Christmas in July.
Yeah, this mid-year holiday period. So a whole bunch of rides and mini matches and wood oven pizzas and all sorts of things happening there. Fokolna Grupa Zagreb is going to be there with a cake stall. Free entry. Get along on Sunday the 17th. That's not this one, the following, and support the club that does well for your kids. Over to Gala, Croatia. The men, unfortunately, another loss, and time is running out for them to lift off the relegation spots. Going down 3-2 to Bayswater in a gallant effort, but just not enough. They need for what they need. They're 9 points from third last with 8 rounds to go. They do have a game in hand, but Balcata also has several games in hand. So it's going to be a real interesting finish to this, seeing that Coburn lost last night. Keeps things tight. They've got the opportunity to do it. They just got to believe in themselves. Next week, they're away to mid-table Inglewood. And the women had a gallant loss as well, unfortunately 2-1 down to Freo. Away to the table, topping Sorrento this week in an attempt to rise from second last to third last, where the gap is only 2 points. Yep. And then we'll finish our wrap up, Tonchi, in Queensland.
What's happening up there?
Look, they're having a bit of events coming up now too. It was good to, like I said, the last episode, good to see the music and events around for the last round against Queensland Lions. But they're continuing the themes. Kavana Night is coming up on the 12th of August. So there'll be a band and live music, and you get yourself some beautiful cooked meat and what's it called? Suwa meso platters, meza. Round 16 against Brisbane City was postponed due to the wet weather that occurred last week. But I believe this week's game will go ahead against Penn Power. What's been really interesting, though, is to see the young SAP contest that's been going on in Queensland. If you got the photos there, Tonchi, the under 9s, 10s, and 11s, and under 12s took out their respective competitions in this little SAP contest that they had. It was at a little location just down the road from the Croatian Sports Centre in Carrara. It's in a little area called Goals. And because the wet weather took them off the grass pitches, they had the fortune of going onto these artificial mini pitches. And look, the young lads rose to the occasion. As you can see, them all enjoying the festivities of a win. So a round of applause for your young men. May it be the first of many, many more to come your way.
Oh, absolutely. Good on them. Well done, boys.
Good stuff. And over to Brisbane Knights to finish things up. The men's next match is against Redcliffe Dolphins after their washout last week. 1 point separates 7th place Knights and 4th place Dolphins, who they're playing against. So a win and the right results in between them, and they go from 7th to 4th just like that. The women's team this week welcomed Lions FC following a 3-0 loss to Holland Park last weekend, and they're equal top with 2 other teams in a very similar goal difference. So it's a hotly contested one this one, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Now in Croatia, not much happening apart from it's almost like the season finished yesterday, and then the new season officially kicks off this Sunday morning. Yeah, that's right, absolutely, with the big Super Cup, the first Super Cup in several years. simply because someone else other than Dinamo won the cup or what. This time, Sunday morning, our time, 4 a.m. Dinamo Zagreb taking on Hajduk Split. There's been meetings behind closed doors between the Dinamo Zagreb, the Hajduk Split, and the MUP, which is the police forces there, so they don't have a repeat of what happened last time. Let's hope it doesn't get to any of that sort of stuff. We don't need that kind of stuff. But this officially kicks off the 2022-23 season. What an interesting season it's going to be. Yep. Dinamo have signed some really, really good players. The Šutalos, one Šutalo is already there. Another Šutalo has been signed on. Josip Drmic, last year's second or the runner-up in the Golden Boot behind Marko Livaja. He has crossed from Rijeka to Dinamo. That's a big signing. But interestingly, one player that has signed in the last 24 hours for NK Rijeka is a player who promised so much and seems to have gone all over Europe and played at some of the biggest clubs, but has never fulfilled his potential. And this kid, when he left Croatia as I think a 16, 17-year-old, went to Barcelona, if I'm not mistaken, was going to be the next champion player. Unfortunately, he just hasn't, discovered that fulfilled that potential. Can Alen Halilovic resurrect his career? Well, we'll have a chance this season to see in the HNL when he dons the white shirt for NK Rijeka. So that'll be really interesting. So, going back to that graphic there, 4 a.m. This Sunday morning. Remember, it's on Max Sport, which is a new channel, not Arena Sport. And hopefully some of those IPTVs are able to access this. And hopefully, if not, there'll be video highlights and watching it on YouTube just hours afterwards. For the first time in a long time, the Torcida supporters are planning a Bili Vlak, as they call it, travelling up from Split in a train. That hasn't been done for a while. So, look, once again, let's hope that there is no idiocy. We don't need that sort of stuff. Let's hope that this HNL season is the best one ever, because last one was really good. Really good. I'm sure everyone will agree.
Good. Yeah. Look, another thing about a Croatian team in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Zrinski's taken on Sheriff in the Champions League qualifying round 1, 4 o'clock.
And that's tomorrow morning, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they're playing against Zrinski, so all the best there. I would look forward to listening.
Is that anywhere on TV or anything like that? Is there a stream or we don't know?
UEFA TV's, I think, doing the qualifying rounds 1 and 2 through them.
UEFA TV. There you go. Yeah. If anyone knows has got a link, pop it in our comments section. We'd love to have a direct link there, or if anyone knows any information with regards to any of the IPTVs as well. Folks, we're going to take a very, very quick break, but we didn't have this on this week, did we? Let's play this segment.
Here in Croatia, everyone's Mourinho. Oni svi znaju, a nemaju pojma. Nemaju pojma.
We forgot the Nemaju Pojma segment this week. If any of our listeners, any of our viewers have got a svi znaju, a Nemaju Pojma moment at the moment, either in Australian soccer, overseas, anywhere like that, please let us know. We'd love to be entertained. I had to play that little jingle if you know what I mean. But any off the top of your head, Josip?
I don't know if we mentioned it last week, but it was interesting to hear the crickets after Croatia's start to the Nations Cup competition, going down 3-0 to Austria, and then preceding that with a win against Denmark, a draw against France, and a win against France. And all of a sudden, the Croatian media went from, Dalić ne zna ništa, šta on zna, riješi se njega. And all of a sudden, it's like, vidi ovo je super.
Yeah, to the general Croatian sports media, they've gone a little bit too. They're too. I think. Yeah, actually, that's just a good point. We're going to mention something like this here. I think they've gone, and it's not just the Croatian media. It's just mainstream media in general, everywhere. They've gone too clickbait happy. You know, you see this amazing big whatever it is headline. You click on it, and there's nothing mentioned. And I was reading an article the other day from the Croatian League, something sensationalist. You've clicked on it, you've read it, and have gone, hang on, I have to read it twice now. No, that what they mentioned in the headline, it's not mentioned anywhere in the article, and it's not something just happens once or twice. I've seen this happen several times, and it's just idiocy. Sviz no pojma nemoj. Anyway, we're going to take a very, very quick break from our friends here. The message here from our friends at Oz Cro Imports. Get in touch with them. Jordan Fritchek will look after you guys. But one word of a warning, the beer supplies have really, really run dry, unfortunately. But there's a lot of it up here.
Have you had a new beer called Buddha?
No, I want to find out more about that.
No, I seriously, I saw it. It's from Istra, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And the first thing that went through my head was
Buddha.
The beer's called Buddha. It's going to leave you with a headache.
Oh, it's very, very chilled. There you go. We'll be back very, very shortly with our guest for tonight. He's the president of Adelaide Croatia, Ian KRIVICIC. Don't go away, folks. It's the Oz Cro Soccer Show, episode 23.
Cro Imports brings you the finest taste of Croatian beer, spirits and wine. Let your taste buds feel the years of nurtured produce and years of experience in producing some of the best beer and wines from Croatia. Established over 10 years ago and importing various wines, spirits and beers from Croatia, we stock the following products: Osječko pivo, Staro Češko and Velebitsko beers, all naturally crafted brews. We carry a wide range of shortcut spirits, which is renowned for top quality and has won numerous awards for its traditionally produced spirits. Some of these include Šljiva, Viljamovka, Kajsije, Višnja, Orahovac and Medovača. We also have wines ranging from the Ilok region in Slavonia, Belje wines from the Danube region, Malvazija from Istra, and the Palihnic brand Plavac Mali, and Poship wines from the Dalmatian coast. Our mission is simple: to ensure that quality, unique and reasonably priced Croatian goods can be enjoyed right here in Australia. We also cater for special gift packs for customers, be they birthdays, christenings, weddings, etc. It's easy to order online, or you can telephone us to arrange a special package. Visit our website at www.ozcro.com.au, like our Facebook page Oz Cro Imports, or you can contact us by calling 0419 44 55 18 or email sales@ozcro.com.au.
Welcome back to the Oz Cro Soccer Show. Before we go on, Josip, a big shout out to Hrvatski Radio Ponos, who are sharing our link, our feed tonight. So all viewers of Hrvatski Radio Ponos, thank you for tuning in and joining us here on episode 23 of the Oz Cro Soccer Show, which we talked about before, Croatian organisations helping Croatian organisations. So to all the folk at Hrvatski Radio Ponos, big shout out and thank you very much. Our guest for tonight.
Good to see you there on the show tonight too. I can see him there with our viewers. So nice to hear from you too.
You was also boogieing there at the Zora function as well, as was a lot of us. Yeah, so it was good. He
was the candid camera. That's where I was getting all my footage. I was getting all my footage from you there. Oh, there's Tonchi. Oh, there's Tonchi again. Oh, there's Tonchi again.
You can't miss him, can you? Anyway, it's not about me. It's about our next guest.
The next guest. In order to run our clubs, Tonchi, we need some really good characters and keep our clubs alive and vibrant and keep them busy and keep our kids also engaged, not just through our second and third generations, but the fourth and even, let dare say, in some avenues, the fifth to come. And in Adelaide's case, it probably is leading into the fifth generation, being the oldest club of Croatian background in our nation of Australia. We welcome the president of Adelaide Croatia, Ian KRIVICIC. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for having us.
Good stuff, mate.
Good evening, Ian. I'm going to say the pride that really, like, we've got you on the screen, and the thing that really, really stands out is that gorgeous jacket. Like, it's bloody cold in Geelong today, and I'll tell you what, a jacket like that would come in very, very handy. But like,
you'll have to go to the whole emblem.
We'll have to, yeah. That emblem and the logo taking pride of place, mate, fantastic. Have you released a whole series of merchandise like what we see with the Gorspitch Bears, commemorating the 70th anniversary?
Yeah, we have, and thanks for Leo in the background doing all that. And like all these clubs run from volunteers, and without Leo organising all those merch and stuff like that, we really appreciate that. But no, we've got a bit to choose from. That's all available online and obviously on the night as well. So we hopefully we can get a few interstaters to come and celebrate this milestone that we're very, very proud of, no doubt.
Fantastic. We look forward to the celebration in the upcoming weeks, Ian. And then look, Tonchi's kindly just thrown that up on the screen for our viewers to ensure that they know when it's happening. And if you contact the Adelaide Croatia Raiders Facebook site, you'll be able to get your tickets booked in, no doubt. Correct, Ian?
Yeah, just even the easiest, just jump on the website. There's a link there that you can pretty well just go through the process, and you can buy everything online these days. It's pretty easy. Unless you're the old school generation, they just want to come and throw the cash in your hand. So we cater for that.
I'll him cash.
Someone cash. Yeah.
Yes, someone cash. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's it.
Ian, I wanted to say something in particular. I know this week everyone's going on about NIDOC week and recognition of the Indigenous people and this and that. But Adelaide Croatia, obviously one of the oldest Croatian clubs. I mean, way back when it was unfashionable to be recognising the Aborigines of this country and the Indigenous nation, your club was doing exactly that. And one of the most famous names that comes to mind is Charles Perkins, who was such a big activist for Aboriginal affairs back then. He was a prominent member of Adelaide Croatia. And that's just one of the rich histories of Adelaide Croatia. How is the club, I guess, paying homage to some of the highlights of yesteryear? What's being planned for the 70th anniversary? Are we going to have any, commemorative events, apart from obviously the gala?
Yeah, obviously the gala, and we'll be recognising a few of those players, like you said, Charlie Perkins, the first Aboriginal player to play the game and take it to the highest level. And it was funny that his daughter said years ago, at the time back then, when they were Aboriginal people, in the society, they weren't really, not well respected, but people didn't really have much time for him. But he said that when he came to the Croatian club, he'll always remember the people just pretty well just put their arms around him and really made him welcome, not just part of the club, just in society. And it's something that he preached for years, and something just what the Croatian people were. They put their hand around anybody, and they did in that case. And it's something his family never forgot.
Yeah. Look, there's another Aboriginal player that's played for Adelaide Croatia, Tonchi, John Moriarty. And the story about John Moriarty and Charles Perkins is actually in Johnny Dudlitz's book, Football Belongs.
Yes.
There's a whole chapter dedicated to the Indigenous people of Australia and their contribution to football. And it's remarkable how football was, the first integrator of the Aboriginal community in terms of sport on a team level. Yet these days, it's AFL would seemingly be the inventors of Indigenous peace talks for some reason. So I don't like the fact that it keeps getting overlooked, and it's one of those things that irritates me. But look, Adelaide Croatia has played an integral part there, and two key figures such as John Moriarty and Charles Perkins both involved at Adelaide Croatia.
Yeah, exactly. That's something we're definitely proud of, no doubt. And as soon as you start hitting these sort of milestones, the 65, the 70s, before you know it, the 75th is history, and history and culture is everything in these clubs. Yeah. It's bigger and bigger responsibilities to run. Unfortunately, football business is, if you want to make money, you don't get involved in football. Store for
no, not at all.
Sorry, boys. I was going to say, I just took myself off the camera, and I'm going to bring myself on the camera. The reason I did that was to get that. That's the book. That's the book. Football Belongs. Do yourself a favour, folks. Get that book by Johnny Didlitz. You can get it, I think, through Amazon. I think you can get it through Booktopia and most books like that. But as you said, Josip, a really good chapter about Charles Perkins and John Moriarty, and also a really good chapter about John's own grandfather, Joe Radojevic, the Jotza, as they used to call him,
Yep.
mentioned about that. And we talk about that respect factor, Ian, so that was, really prevalent at a time when they were disrespected. And it brings me to the point about another Croatian club, Sydney United, who tonight did so well against Bonnie Rig White Eagles. There's a great little clip about Graham Arnold when he goes back to Sydney United that was on Optus Sports just recently, and how he talks about how when he came to Sydney United, he lost his mum, and the Croatian community were just so warm and welcoming. And that has been something that's been front and centre about Adelaide Croatia over the years. It's always been not just, soccer players that were non-Croatian, but indeed us interstate Croats. Every time we'd go to Adelaide, you really felt at home at Gepps Cross. You really felt like you were coming, home, and, a big shout out to all the guys there at Adelaide Croatia. Is that something you guys really pride yourself on, being very hospitable, and something that you really work on, just being ambassadors of the Croatian community?
I think it's just something that's just developed naturally. Like you said, any event that we have, if it's a festa or a tournament or a club will come and just play a trial game. We just really get, we get worked up. Everyone's on a high, everyone can't wait, everyone talks about it. You ask for 10 volunteers and freaking 25 rock up. So we've always had that energy, and I think everyone out there, the wider Croatian community, has always got good stories about coming to Adelaide, and it just happened. It's just happened naturally. It's just what we are in all the past, committees, presidents. They just really, really enjoy it, and we love having people over. I think we're pretty good at it, we don't mind a drink too, that's for sure.
Fantastic host, Tonchi, and I've got to say, I think my first recollection of a tournament in Adelaide would have been late 80s, around 87, 88, around that period of time. And every other time that they've hosted it, they seem to set the benchmark, which then gets other clubs going for them to set another benchmark in the tourneys. I mean, like at 17 at Adelaide, despite the weather that they experienced, it was an amazing event, and the location you got there, Ian, with the developments that have occurred around there in terms of football. You've got such a key location, and you've got your stands and the Croatian Sports Centre all in one. It's fantastic.
We're lucky, and there's been a lot of money getting put into the State Sports Park, and just the FSA has developed their new home of football next door, so Hof as they call it, and they're our neighbours. So we've got a walking track between the two. And they've got 3 full-size pitches. They've got 10 five-a-side pitches. And then the school, Roma Mitchell, which is next to us as well. So it's pretty well in a triangle. They've got 3 full-size pitches. And we got 4 full-size pitches. So, there's 10 full-size pitches and 10 five-a-side pitches within 100 metres. They're just walking trails. So we've got plenty of car park. So, the next tournament, whenever that is, and if we get an opportunity to get a winning bid, we'll put something on special. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Now, speaking of special, mate, you are a special club, and you've the year itself has formed into a bit of a change of approach for yourself. Take us a little bit through the way the club has approached this year and their philosophy and strategy for this and for the upcoming 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, like it's everything in business. You need a plan. We put a 3 to 5 year plan in place. I think the most important thing is running a football club. Everyone needs to be on the same page, and I just feel that in the past we didn't have that for a number of reasons. At the end of the day, everyone's trying to do the right thing by the club. We're all volunteers. We all put in our sort of 15, 20 hours a week. We're passionate. We want the right thing, but it's no point everyone doing the right thing and it's all like, 20 Tovare all going in the opposite direction. So I think it's the first time in 5 years since I've been involved, is that we got that strategy, and players, coaches, committee, members. Most of the members, there's always a couple of hardcores. Again, proud people. Everyone wants to be top and playing finals in NPL. I like to have that too, but the reality is you need to really see where your club is at, and we're at this level now. The plan was never to go down, obviously, but now moving forward, we have to put more focus on the youth. I know everyone says it. You have to be patient with it. You got to believe in it. You got to have the right coaches. We've formed Academy Croatia Raiders, which is something that's funded by us. The senior setup is. The junior setup is a small fee to be involved. That's a separate program, and the only reason that there's a small fee they pay because we didn't have enough sponsors to cover that. But long term, we see Academy Croatia Raiders to be pivotal in developing and fast tracking our young kids to be better football players.
Talk to us more about that, Ian. Which age group or demographic is that aimed at, and what makes it sort of different to just being part of the run-of-the-mill junior setup there at the club?
Yeah, so the senior system is picked by our technical director. He'll go pretty well from the under-18s into the senior system, pick out a group of the younger players that have got that potential, but not really at the level to play senior football. So that's on a Monday morning, 7:30 to 9:30. So we wanted to have it during the day, not at night, because if you just rock up at night, it's just like a normal training session. So we just wanted the mindset of, we gave them. We wrote to the schools. If they were at school, we wrote to the employers to say, hey, they're part of a program. It's living, it's sport, and it's good. So 90% of them are cool with it. So it's they rock up there on the Monday morning, and it's just 2 hours. It's done next door in the home of football on the artificial pitches.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just a different.
Thank you, players.
What a way to start your week, hey?
It's good. It's good. And so we got 4 or 5 week blocks. So there's 20 sessions, and then we're halfway through that now. Actually, we're going into the 3rd session now. And we've seen vast improvement on a lot of the younger players, and everyone talks it up, and everyone's positive about it. And give them another another top during the day. It's just a different mindset, which is important.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then pretty well the junior system. We haven't got that quite right yet, but we'll keep working on it. They're hard to get out there in the morning, so I think they start about 5 an hour before training, or 4:30, something like that. So it's a quick 1 hour session again on the artificial pitches, and that's just a small fee now. But hopefully, if we find a few more sponsors and we can fund that, because it's all about not revenue based, no income. It's all about us funding that program.
Brilliant.
So
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So we think. Makes sense. For years we've always, the resis, the 18s, even though the first team struggled a little bit, but we get up and then we come back down again, just like a yo-yo. We don't want yo-yos no more. We want just a direction, and then, but in the background, always the resis and 18s were always top, second, winning cups. Always had the players, but we could never get them to that next step, and I don't think maybe the focus was there. So now part of this 3 to 5 year plan is developing our own. Obviously, got to get that right balance of experience. We're not quite there yet with that. We need a couple of key players there. Patience, number one. And then, if it all goes to plan, 1 to 3 years, it's going to click. And then once it clicks, we'll be up there pushing for titles. Yeah. So it's as simple as that. There's no rocket science to it.
I just love the structure. I really like the structure and how it's sort of. We hear, Josipa, we hear a lot about clubs forming academies or private academies, but the way it's done, and it provides that uniqueness about it. There's a point of difference. That starting off a Monday morning, 7:30 till 9:30 in schools and the discipline required. That's amazing for young people to do that, and even for the juniors as well. I'm really, really impressed by that. I hope other clubs around Australia do take notice of that and adopt something similar. That's brilliant.
Well, I just wonder, Ian, of those players that have been partaking in this Monday morning, and the I think it's 6 debutants in the senior team you've had this year.
Correct.
How many of those lads in the academy are appearing in those senior appearances? They all are. Look,
all of them.
That's
That speaks
That's
for
how it
itself,
works.
doesn't it?
That's how
Well
it
done,
works.
guys. Well done. Well done,
That's
Adelaide.
really good.
Again, get the balance of the senior, that experienced player. Again, if we had 1 or 2, we would be a lot more comfortable of what we're doing. But again, there's only ways that these guys can learn. That's playing, and if we're going to drop a couple of games here and there, well, so be it. Not ideal, but they have to be playing on the park all the time. Just keep playing, and we're at a level now that we can actually do that and build it properly. But we need patience.
Just keep planting those seeds, mate, and you'll reap the harvest. It'll be good.
That's all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so with the young lads that have made their debuts. There's also one young lad that's made his way into the under-17s broader squad. That's Marley's young boy.
Yes. So Marley's young lad is not with us. He's trains with Adelaide United and has been for a couple of years now. So very, very talented player. I'd like to have him back. He's at another level, and we're proud to say he's Croatian, and that's what it's about. It's always nice when your young lads get up to that higher level because they all know they've come on. Hopefully one day we can have them back whenever that is and whenever that works. But it's Luka. I'm pretty sure it is.
Luka Blažević,
yeah. He's got something about him, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and it's good. Look, we've seen down at North Geelong just this week. We've seen a young lad who went off to Victory and has come back to North Geelong. So treat him well, treat him with respect, see him off with pride. I guess they will come back to you. And our young guys are like little homing pigeons. Eventually, they'll come back to us, and would love to see Luka and Blažević there in the colours of Adelaide Raiders. Now, speaking of some of the talented juniors at the moment, there's a contingent of Adelaide Croatia Raiders. They are on tour, as we can see right there. That is the under-13s team, and they have gone off to Canberra for the Kanga Cup. And we're told there by Matt Gurgic, thank you, Matt, for letting us know. A heads up from Canberra. Boys, a massive Croatian derby tomorrow morning in the Kanga Cup. Canberra, Croatia, under-13s versus the Adelaide Croatia Raiders. Go, boys. All the best to both teams. Thank you, Matt, for letting us know about that. Really, really appreciate that. But tell us a little bit about the Raiders on tour, the under-13 team that's gone up to Adelaide. And there's a couple more photos there. Jeez. That's how good is that? They feel like a professional club team.
It's good. Well, we've had a couple of fundraisers during the year, and so we'll get behind and help them. So pretty well all funded, on their own. We support them a little bit, and they're great. So it's under 13 JPL team, coached by Nick Budding. They have got the big derby in the morning, and they've actually qualified in the top 4. So they've secured top 4 place, and they're playing a semi-final tomorrow afternoon at 2:50. So that's a big game for the young boys. So hopefully a bit of luck and the right attitude. Good bunch of guys, good coach. Hopefully they get through tomorrow afternoon and go into the big one.
Fantastic. Now, on the weekend, you had a nice event happening with the last one standing. It looked like great numbers there, and there's the winners for the last one standing. Was
Monika Orlovic, yeah?
I just got a pop-up here from Shui saying Zilla so close. I got third. Yeah, but anyway, I won't hang it on Škurnjak too much longer because I'll have to face up with him eventually. So
he brought a smile to his face, let me tell you.
Yeah, I bet it did. Yeah, we don't mind sharing a barb at each other, that's for sure.
And that's not fair. We had him on the show. We treated him with such respect. And what sort of respect do you get from Steve Škurnjak? Josip, in the end, he pulls out your name in the last one standing.
Right. But look, it was great to see the attendance that you had there, Ian. It just comes back to what we were mentioning earlier about how friendly and warm and welcoming it is at the Croatian Sports Centre at Gepps Cross, and what a wonderful job you guys do to have your events.
And we appreciate we had a lot of interstate people, buying tickets. So we really, really appreciate that, and thank all from interstate that bought a ticket. So we're not the winners this time, but keep
That's
playing.
right.
Be so. No, we appreciate the support from everyone out there, no doubt about it.
It's all there for the club, and like I said to Steve, za Croaciju sve, a Croaciju ni za što. So if you don't know what that means you give it all for Croatia, but I'll never give her up.
That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Ian, before we let you go, Adelaide Croatia, the senior men's in 5th spot at the moment. And as you mentioned to us off air, it's important that that you guys finish in the top 6, because then there's a promotion playoff between the 2nd and the 6th teams, and the winner of that promotion playoff then qualifies as the 2nd team alongside the champion to progress to next year's NPL competition. This week, playing against Eastern United, who are 9th. They've had 2 losses, a draw in their last 5 games. So here's a good opportunity for Adelaide Croatia to win. Can the boys do it? Can they have a barnstorming finish to the season and clinch that elusive spot to the elite division? This is where you pumped up the supporters and say, we need your support to come to the games.
I think so. It was, last week was a really big game for us, and I reckon there wasn't many people there that were thinking that we're going to win. It would have been 3 losses in a row. As soon as you start losing 3, then it becomes 4. And you're on that. But the boys actually did show pretty good character, and it was coached actually by Ivan Jovanovic, one of our reserves coach. He's been coaching junior system for 4 or 5 years now. Our main coach had COVID, so Ivan took over the game, and he's definitely he's a passionate fella, and I think he really just pumped up the boys. But at the end of the day, they played well. They, it's always you win premierships on defence, don't you? And that's something that we sort of struggled, and we kept it nil, and we got one, and that's end of the story. So that was a good boost. This Saturday, listen, there's no reason why we should lose. We have to get on a bit of a momentum run. Hopefully that was the first one. I'm feeling confident, but as a president, you always do.
That's your job.
That's my job. But no, there's no reason why we don't. And if we can get a couple, 2 or 3 in the row, and then the sun starts coming out, and you start talking finals, it's just a different ball game. We all know soccer, how it goes.
Hey, look, Tonchi, I'm smelling a road trip here, mate. Last time I was in Adelaide, and Ian will attest to this. Last time I was in Adelaide won the playoff to get promoted back into the NPL. So I think I'm due for another visit.
We're always happy, like I said, mate. We're happy to take anyone. Don't worry.
We might have to have a live show from Adelaide from Gepps Cross. Is it Gepps or Gepps Cross?
It's
Gepps Cross. Gepps Cross. Yeah.
But
Ian, on that note, sorry, mate.
Hopefully, we can see a few of us come out on this big celebration of ours. So we're hoping to have it at a bigger scale, but we're pumped and all ready to have it now in a month's time. And if we can have any support from interstate, I'll buy you more than a beer or 2. Let me give you the tip. So it would be great to have a few.
There you go. That's on Saturday, the 6th of August at the Adelaide Convention Centre, featuring live Melbourne Croatian cover band Major Minor, who are in fine form. The 70th anniversary Gala Ball. Jump on there. Jump onto the Adelaide Croatia Facebook page and indeed the website. You can get all the details there. On that note, Ian, thank you so much for joining us on the Oz Cro Soccer Show. We've had some ripper guests this year, and you are certainly one of them. And we're really, really proud to have had you on the show. So thank you so much.
No, appreciate it, gentlemen. Thanks very much for having us. And good luck with the show for the rest of the year. And hopefully we see you soon, eh?
Absolutely.
Mate, and živela Adelaide Croatia.
Absolutely. That's Ian KRIVICIC from Adelaide Croatia Raiders, the president. I'm really taken aback, Josipe, by the academy there. I love hearing stories like that.
Isn't it?
I know a few of the clubs, Gold Coast Knights. I know Dinamo St Albans. They've also got little academies as well. Dandenong City, I'm pretty sure, have tried setting something up similarly.
Adelaide's got Luban set something up there. Yeah,
that's a brilliant one. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. So it's great to see that sort of stuff, and there is a lot of potential, a lot of talent at the moment. And it's look, that what's that statistics? 6 of those players that have, or 7 that have made their debut in the Adelaide Croatia colours this year, all have come through the academy
6 of
setup.
them have made it through. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent.
Yep.
That brings us to the end of the show. Before we go, Josip, let's quickly just go back to the Gorspic Bears and their merchandise range. Some really, really good season merchandise available there from the Gorspic Bears.
Yeah, look, there's some really good. Get that jumper jacket and beanie combo, and you won't go wrong. You'll be on the sidelines nice and warm, and it'll help you along. I'm sure with the shot at Akia, you'll get even more. You'll even get warmer.
Yeah, postage not included. Limited stock of the jerseys, but there's a lot of really, really good items there. Jump onto the Gorspic Bears Facebook page. And they've got a link there to an online order form that they can do. And they're happy to take orders from anywhere around Australia. Do jump on. Gorspic Bears. Sentimentally, one of our, we all love all the Croatian clubs, but the Gorspic Bears was our very, very first featured club. And that was arranged courtesy of the late Maxi Sentic. So, his memory lives on, and a lot of the hard work that is being done behind the scenes, Ivica Petrlic, Dario Međugorac, and some of the other crew down there is testament to the fact what a great little club that is. So thank you to all the clubs doing some ripper work around Australia. Next week, Dinamo and Hajduk, they start off the proceedings in the Super Cup, so we'll have some news from overseas as well. On that note, next Wednesday is episode 24. And I think we'll be probably sticking to a Wednesday formula from here on in.
Yeah,
so
I believe we don't have any fixture clashes that point me the other way, so it should be good.
Yeah. Now, we'd love for you to become members of the Oz Cro Soccer Show. Go onto www.patreon.com, Oz Cro Soccer Show, and you can become a member for as little as $25 a month and support what we're doing. And we also need the clubs to jump on board and sponsor us, and businesses to sponsor us as well, like we had Oz Cro Imports sponsor tonight's episode, or be a business advertiser on tonight's episode. On that note, thank you for joining us, folks. That's it from us. Good night. Laku noć.
Laku noć.